Happy Friday, everyone. So I'm just going to make this video to say that my goal this weekend, August 8th portal, right, 8/8 portal, is to get the links to my books uploaded to TikTok Shop, just so that you guys would be able to order from that platform. And I just want to give you a little history of the books and where that whole concept of making these books come from. First, I wrote my first book when I was around 6 or 7 years old, and it was actually published. And this came after I was in a car accident and I was in a school for special needs people, right? I am deaf, right? I know most people don't know. I have a major hearing loss, cannot hear in one of my ears at all. Um, Blind in one eye. So all these multiple different things. But anyway, later on, I would write little books just to teach people. And I actually, as a young adult, helped someone edit and publish a book. And then I would write educational little resources. The first book I wrote as an adult was How to Become a Thousandaire. First book I actually published, self-published. So as I worked with my clients, when I went back to school, right, because I went back to school and got my second degree passed. So when I first started working with my clients had multiple different issues in our counseling sessions, and I would take tools that I learned and use those tools to help them work through problems. But I wanted my clients to have assignments, homework, so that when they would come back to me, we could actually have progress made, right? So that is where the books come from. So many of my clients suffered from anxiety and depression. Now, when I first made the anxiety and depression book, I made it into a format like this, except for it had an open face and things of that nature. But then I was traveling and I was like, okay, well, if I'm traveling, I need to not have to print all of them. See, I print these, I bind these myself. And so I was like, okay, let me use a service, and therefore these are available online to print and go through affirmations. My life gets better every day. My life is on an upward swing, right? So I don't just do journals. I do workbooks because I do what's called root work to get to the root of what is causing your issue. Once you get to the root of it and resolve it, then your life improves. I have clients who have anger issues. So here's one of the books, Anger Management, right? Again, see, that's my old website. Some of these books I wrote in 2023, some of them in 2022, some of them in 2019. So when I'm working with my clients and we have issues, I kind of help them work on those issues. Money blocks, right? And dreams, because the spiritual side. Now, mind you, I did not start putting my spiritual concepts into book products until I think this is 25. So I think in 23, it may have been the end of 22 or the beginning of 23 is when I started doing this, because of course I have clients on the spiritual side with the earth was awakening and people had questions. So then I did those things. I did this journal, 90-day self-care planner. Look at that picture. I think I did this. This must have been closer to 2020 when I made these. Dr. Friesen Spiritual Wellness Center is incorporated. That is where my school is, and that is also where I publish my books through. I know you guys are used to Fig Healing because that's where I do all of my skincare line and all of my herbal things, but my therapy practice is with Dr. Friesen Spiritual Wellness Center. These journals like this one, I make individual journals and I pull together different things and create something like this for my clients and send to them depending on what we're working on. So they might get a workbook with multiple topics, right? And it's personalized. I separated these things out because I found that a lot of clients had these different issues. I have another journal for grief, and that's going to be available, right? So in root work, true root work, in order to move your life forward, you have to figure out where your blockages are, what has you stuck. And that's a root cause analysis. And we get to the root of what is causing you an issue. And some people say, I cannot afford this, I cannot afford that. Because of the way my practice is, I am free to incorporate my spiritual components into my practice, because I do not really believe the two can be separate. Science and spirit has to work together. So some people say they can't afford, that kind of thing. Well, you might not be able to, but you can afford to get some of the knowledge and get it in book format and do the work. So I encourage you to at least get the book and do the work. Do I have courses? Yes. I have courses that you can take that are self-paced. Of course. Do I have courses on herbalism? I have a lot of courses that I've created to help people. I have courses on energy healing. Of course I do. Not everyone can afford, or they haven't made that time in their life to really make that a priority. But getting a book is the easiest thing that you can do for your self-care. And you can start working and chipping away at these different issues, And the thing about a book is that it's just you. So you don't have to be embarrassed by what you write or what you share in the book, because you never have to share that information with anyone else if you don't want to. But you release it from your soul. And that's the whole point. This is also why, although I do have digital products, I really want you to write. There's a transference of energy that occurs when you write, when you physically write. When you do manifesting, they tell you to write out your dream. Don't just type it. Write it on the board, put pictures and things. Because there's a release that happens in the writing process. So I want you to get the physical book and do the physical work. That's why I was hesitant about making the products available digitally, because most people don't print it out and do the work, right? So when they get the book, they actually do the work. So just giving you a little background, a little history. This video went a little bit longer than I expected it to go. Mind you, I put all of these, if you get it bound like this, I put it all together. And in my warehouse, I actually have some of the original ones of these bound on beautiful paper. So that's what I didn't like about these printed. So when I buy them, they're all on paper that makes you feel a certain type of way, so that you're encouraged to do the work. Some of them on paper that has scriptures, and some of it just affirmations on the pages. So I will make that a priority to have that available for you guys. I actually have my binding machine here with me in my RV. If I have nothing else, I have books, I have herbs, and then I do have a little warehouse that I go to where I keep some other things. So anyway, that's just a little book information for you guys, and letting you know where we're going with making this available for you so that you could do the work. All right, you guys be well.